Viewers, today was a significant day in court for the main contestants in the Gyanvapi case. The Allahabad High Court refused to grant a stay on a petition moved by the Masjid committee. The Muslim side had challenged a prior Varanasi court order allowing Hindus to resume puja bad after 1993 in the cellar or tehkhana of the disputed Gyanvapi Mosque. The order read, viewers, and let me quote out of it, "No ground to interfere in district court's order." Remember, that order came in January, viewers, allowing the Vyas family to return to the tehkhana where it had been conducting a puja for over a century. The court also said the Hindu side can continue to offer prayers in the cellar. Worship and rituals conducted by the Vyas family till 1993. So the court underlined this fact. The failure of the appellant to establish prima facie possession. Who was the appellant, viewers? It was, of course, the Intizamiya committee, the mosque side, the Muslim side. The court went on to say that the district court upheld Article 25 on the freedom of religion, and therefore the Intizamiya committee's petition challenging that order has been set aside. There will be no stay on the Hindu right to go access the tehkhana and offer puja. The Hindu side had moved court demanding that the Gyanvapi Mosque site, viewers, be handed back to the majority community. The Hindu side has adduced copious amounts of historical forensic evidence to claim that the mosque had been constructed on the site of Mahadev's temple that had been razed by Aurangzeb in the 1600s. While the court prima facie noted that the Muslim side's case was weak, it made a startling revelation that has sparked massive outrage. That revelation, viewers, was buried deep down in the order, Clause 127. The High Court has noted that the Hindus were literally, quote, illegally, unquote, dispossessed of their right to practice their faith. Here is what the order says, viewers, and it's going to come up on your screens. The High Court noted that this happened in 1993 when the then Samajwadi Party-led UP state administration had, quote, illegally, unquote, and without written orders, barred Hindus from offering prayers in one of the cellars or tehkhanas of the Masjid. In this said tehkhana or cellar, the Vyas family had been performing puja for centuries. The worship and rituals, the court said, which continued to be performed in the cellar by the Vyas family till 1993, was stopped by illegal action. Viewers, illegal action of the state without there being any order in writing. The Vyas family, which continued performance of religious worship and rituals in the cellar, could not be denied access by oral order. A right guaranteed under Article 25 cannot be taken away by arbitrary action of the state, unquote. Viewers, this is very, very significant. The High Court judgment has sent shockwaves as it suggests that the state government led by the Samajwadi Party's then Supremo, Mulayam Singh Yadav, had weaponized, yes viewers, weaponized its executive power to discriminate against Hindus. Indeed, the government then passed the orders without considering the historical claims of the Vyas family on behalf of Hindus on the tehkhana. Your channel, CNN News 18, has accessed a map, and you can see it, viewers, on your screens. This map, drawn up in 1936 no less, and submitted in court, expressly notes the Hindu claim on the Gyanvapi Mosque tehkhana, viewers. You can see right there at the bottom a notation. There it is, viewers, we've just highlighted for you. That's the one. Tehkhana owned by Vyas. There's a spelling mistake in the way the surname has been spelt. It is V-I-A-S. There should be actually V-Y-A-S. But let me just walk you through this. The High Court notes in 1936 British era map showcasing tehkhana owned by Vyas. HC documents from Shailendra Pathak Vyas show cellar has been with the Vyas family since 1551. This is before the mosque was demolished by Aurangzeb, viewers. What does that tell you? That there was obviously a Hindu structure, a temple, where puja was being offered. The document shows the cellar has been willed down the generations by the Vyas family. So it was in continuous possession since the 1500s. Viewers, for 33 long years since 1993, Hindus have been cut off from practicing their faith freely. This right is guaranteed under Article 19 and 25 of the Constitution. The question is, why were the Hindus cheated? Are they the victims of an insidious prejudice? Why have the Samajwadi Party and Congress regimes at the state and central level respectively never revoked that 1993 order that disbarred specifically Hindus? Can Hindus trust these parties to uphold their rights? This last question is very significant, viewers, because as you know, the Congress and the Samajwadi Party are contesting the Lok Sabha elections together in Uttar Pradesh and are claiming that they are the only parties that represent all the people equally all the time. Viewers, this court order punches a hole, a massive hole in that claim. But I am not going to stand in judgment, viewers. Let's throw this out to our guests. Vishnu Shankar Jain, lawyer for the Hindu side, is with us. Dr. Ranganathan needs no introduction. Kamru Chaudhary backs the POW Act. Rashid Sharif, president of the SIMPLB. These are all known faces, and I want to first begin with Vishnu Shankar Jain. Now, Vishnu Shankar Jain, I know that today I should be congratulating you on the larger verdict that you have been able to get in your favor. But the tragedy is that I must commiserate with millions of Hindus who have been denied their basic rights since 1993. How am I supposed to, in this bittersweet moment, Vishnu Shankar Jain, celebrate what was an absolute palpable injustice?
See, absolutely right, Rahul. And as a civil lawyer, it was my duty that when I visited the spot, the disputed spot, I heard the versions of various atrocities which are committed on the site in question. And after that, the legal perspective which we developed was that if it is a glaring fact of this issue that worship is going on from 1551 till November 1993, then how it has to be restored? This was a question and a legal challenge which was before me and my senior Harishankar Jain. And that's how we developed this case. We collected all the evidence from the Vyas family, and then we drafted this case and filed it before the District Court of Varanasi. And we had a prayer. Very important, one more important fact is this, Rahul, I want to highlight it on your show, that from 2016 onward, some time came where the door of this Vyas family was demolished. Oh. There was a door of this Taikhana, and the keys of that door were with the Vyas family. One key was with the Vyas family, and the other key was with the district administration of Uttar Pradesh. I don't know how it has happened, but this door was broken. And let me tell you that Anjuman Intizamiya is in possession of this property in question. We immediately filed a petition on 25th of September 2023 saying that look here, the door has been demolished, and at any point of time they can take over the possession of this Taikhana which you are showing on your screen. It is on that footing the Honorable District Court of Varanasi on 17th of January appointed the District Magistrate as receiver in exercise of powers under Order 40 of the CPC. And the second prayer was that puja must be started in this premises because Kashi Vishwanath Trust has a legal obligation under section 13 of the UP Kashi Vishwanath Act 1983 to conduct puja. So these two orders were passed on 17 January and 31st January by the District Court of Varanasi, Rahul. And let me tell you, and let me quote, that in the Allahabad High Court, the counsel for Anjuman Intizamiya used the word, and I am using the exact word, the District Court Varanasi passed the orders under the influence of the plaintiff. These were the accusations which were cast before the Honorable Allahabad High Court, and it has been dealt with in the judgment also by the Honorable Allahabad High Court. So if some court is passing an order, you can be agreed by that order, you can go to the higher court and challenge it. But during doing that duty, if you are casting aspersions of the court, it is contemptuous. We pointed it and highlighted it before the Honorable Court. And today the Honorable Allahabad High Court has upheld the law, upheld the rule of law, and upheld the order passed by the District Court of Varanasi on 17th and 31st of January.
My word, what you are saying, Vishnu Shankar Jain, is startling. You've added more layers to what is palpable injustice. And Dr. Ranganathan, I have to ask you this. My faith in the secular credentials of the Samajwadi Party and the Congress is shaken today. It is shaken right down to the roots. What to make of this? This is an palpable injustice.
Good evening, Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Being an atheist, my blood is boiling. I can only imagine what would be the state of mind for the believers like you and Vishnu and others. This is a crime that has happened. This is a crime that we as a state, as a country, have allowed to exist for 30 years. I want to ask, in a country where Supreme Court down to the government allow retrospective punishments, I want to ask, why not the court also allow a cost for this kind of heinous act to have happened and being perpetrated on the believers? Millions, perhaps 1 billion believers, for 30 years, they were illegally not allowed to worship where they wanted to worship at the most sacrosanct of their places. Something would have to be done and questions are being asked. Har Har Mahadev. I have no hesitation in saying this. From 1551, Vyas Parivar was worshipping at that place. As I said previously, Rahul, you can subjugate 20 generations, but not the 21st. And let me also say this right now. This nation owes an insurmountable debt of gratitude to Vishnu Jain, who's right there. Vishnu, thank you. And someday, when we remember our heroes more than our tyrants, Vishnu, your name will be right there at the very top. Keeping this most sacred of places away from Indians, not just the Hindus. Because I've said it time and again, Rahul, this is a civilizational issue, not a religious one. It is untenable now. Among the hundreds of Hindu murals, reliefs, idols discovered by the ASI inside the Gyanvapi, by the way, there is also this sandstone tablet that reads, and I quote, by order, this mosque was built in 1676, the 20th regnal year of Aurangzeb, unquote. So much for the Muslim side claiming the mosque was built by Akbar. Rahul, I repeat, it is beyond any doubt. In fact, it is written in the most authentic biography of Aurangzeb, Masir-e-Alamgiri, that in 1669, on orders of Aurangzeb, the Kashi Vishwanath temple was demolished. The Farman is also archived in Bikaner archive. Jadunath Sarkar has also reiterated it. Let me give you a few facts now, just briefly. Number one, as Vishnu has also said and you've reiterated, Hindus have been worshipping Ma Shringar Goring inside the so-called Gyanvapi Mosque almost every day before 1993 and once a year after 1993. So the religious character of the Gyanvapi structure has therefore always been Hindu. But there is more. A little distance away from Ma Gauri is the wuzu, where Muslims have been washing their dirty feet. In this wuzu was discovered the Shivling, courtesy Vishnu, that Muslims now claim is a fountain. And a little distance away further is the Vyas Parivar Tehkana that the Allahabad High Court has today adjudicated on. They were worshipping in that cellar till November 1993 when, ironically, in grave violation of Section 3 of the Places of Worship Act itself, Rahul, the Mulayam Singh government threw out the Vyas Parivar from their own cellar. So I want to ask a simple question. Did the religious character of the place not change then? For 31 years, you have violated the very Places of Worship Act that you were accusing the Hindus to violate. Number 4, further violations of Place of Worship Act were committed against Hindus. Ask Vishnu. The chopping of the sacred people tree, the removal of the Ganesh idol, the removal of the Hanuman idol. But it is the Hindus who have been taught that they are violating the Place of Worship Act by changing the religious structure of the mosque. Rahul, in summation, nations weaken not because of their past, as I say, but rather by how they are taught it. And for 70 years, we were taught to forget historical injustices from Somnath to Kashi Vishwanath, Babarpur to Bakhtiyarpur. And these injustices were deliberately made visible to lionize the debasement, celebrate the humiliation. I want to ask you finally, just 10 seconds. If the Muslims wanted, they could have removed all idols from Gyanvapi, or the Jain and the Hindu relics from Quwwatul Islam Mosque, Qutub Minar, but they didn't because they wanted to humiliate Hindus, lionize the debasement. In the end, their hubris has led to their downfall.
Well, those are, of course, very, very strong charges that have been made. But Vishnu Shankar Jain, let me come back to you before I bring in a very learned and extremely well-researched Kamru Chaudhary back into this debate. I just want to first come to you, Mr. Jain, and this is very important, and it's a question that I must ask you. You see, given the fact that the Congress and the Samajwadi Party, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, I'm only going by the fact that there has been such inaction over these last 30 odd years. One would think that they were both in it together to deny Hindu their rights. So I don't want to jump to any conclusions, but let me just ask you, given your dwindling faith, tomorrow, if by some dint of fate they were in power, do you have confidence that if a court does find in your favor that these two parties, if they are in power, will uphold that judgment? Because unlike, let's not forget, unlike Ayodhya where the Babri Masjid was raised, here the mosque stands. Do you think these particular parties will execute an order passed by the Supreme Court if it were to come to it in a few years and say, okay, this is your land and now do what you want to do with it, rebuild your temple? Do you think they would? I'm asking you.
I extremely doubt, Rahul, because if you will see the policy which has been adopted by these governments, and I am from Lucknow, basically, so I've seen the functioning of Samajwadi Party government as well as the Congress government. The Places of Worship Act 1991 was enacted by Narasimha Rao government. Today we have travelled, I think, around 95 hearings from the trial court to the High Court to say that Places of Worship Act is not attracted. If these efforts wouldn't have been taken, the false narrative of Places of Worship Act would have brushed aside this case. The Waqf Act 1995, which is the most draconian law, which I've explained on your channel earlier, was enacted by the same Narasimha Rao government within the span of 4 years, by which, on the one hand, you ask the Hindu parties not to file even a case in the court of law, and on the other hand, you give exemplary powers to the Waqf board to declare any property as Waqf property by virtue of section 40 of the Waqf Act 1995. Apart from that, the National Commission of Minority Act 1992 was also enacted in this by this very government. What more I can say, Rahul? I have seen the Samajwadi Party government, the sitting minister, Azam Khan, refused to take oath of the constitution. He took oath only of secrecy. It's on record, I'm telling you. I have seen the Samajwadi Party government, the functioning of Samajwadi Party government. It has been only for minority appeasement. Entire party has worked for minority appeasement. If you remember, Rahul, in 2013 they were releasing Muslim youths. Innocent Muslim youths were the word which was used by them for releasing hardcore terrorists. It was only the Allahabad High Court, when we filed a petition saying that it is violation of section 321 of the CRPC, that order was struck down. So entire minority appeasement politics has been played by both the governments, and I'm very hopeful that if they were in power, these kind of litigations would not have they would have
fructified. Let me ask you, because this is important. You see, this is very important. The one thing that we've all forgotten is that the PV Narasimha Rao government wanted to pass a legislation, if you remember, Vishnu Jain, to take over the entire Babri Masjid site.
Yes.
In the name of maintaining, communal harmony. What tomorrow, if supposing this government were to come back, the Congress with the Samajwadi Party, and they pass, can they do that? Can they pass a law and say, no, the court might have ruled, but you see, this will lead to some sort of communal disturbance. We're just taking over this entire now land.
See, I think they can because if you'll see the entire functioning of the government by inserting the word secularism and socialism without any discussion in the constitution, which is also subject matter of challenge before the Supreme Court. without any discussion they have inserted these words, and in the garb of secularism and socialism they are trying to do anything against the majority community. If you will see the major endowment acts which are taxing the temples, and the temple takeovers have been brought in these regimes, all these illegal actions against the constitutional ethos have been brought down by these governments. So I am very very hopeful that this minority appeasement politics will be played by them if they come back to power.
Well, Dr. Ranganathan, of course, has written a whole book on this entire subject, and it's been widely read. So, Kamru Chaudhary, I have to come to you. It's very important that today we don't lose ourselves. You know, we don't lose ourselves in the usual rhetoric, etc., that we stick to the facts. And I have stuck to the facts. Nothing that I have quoted has not transpired, has not happened. I'll keep putting those graphics out. You can also refer to them, sir. This has been said in this is exact replica of the clause in the verdict, and of course the map also, which is now court document. So I want to ask you, how do I, and I'm now speaking as a viewer, Kamru Chaudhary, and a citizen, trust the Samajwadi Party and the Congress to protect the legal rights of the majority community after this? I don't think it can get any worse than this. I'm sure you'll agree. Plenty of time for your party that ruled at the center for 10 years between 2004 and 14 to have revoked this and given the Hindus their basic right back, Article 25, Article 19, etc. But you didn't. So how do we trust?
Rahul, your debate tonight, is pure dog whistling on two counts. One is dog whistling against the political parties of Samajwadi and the Congress, and another way is pure dog whistling against the Muslims of this country. I'll explain to you.
Okay.
Just now, my learned friend Vishnu Som just now
how did the Muslims even come into this? I'm talking about a court order. Anyhow,
I'm coming.
Yeah.
He told that the Waqf Act is one of the most draconian acts of this century. Now, if it is a draconian act, he is a lawyer. He must be aware of the fact that the Waqf board has no powers to acquire any property until and unless it is donated by the person concerned in the name of Allah. That is the basic tenet of the Waqf Act. So once a Waqf, always a Waqf is another tenet of the Waqf Act. And it is a continuation of the 1935 Waqf Act and not really enacted in 1995. It has been changed to the circumstances we are presently in. Second point that I am coming here,
Rahul, please ask him. What does Section 6 say? Is he aware of what they are?
I am not a lawyer.
Then don't. You see, if you are not a lawyer, Kamru Chaudhary, then don't speak so authoritarian. Well, actually, as an authoritarian, not authoritative. As an authoritarian personality here. No, please quote now Article 6, Clause 6. Let's quote it. Vishnuji, let's pull it out. Because viewers, I'll tell you something. I can sit here every night and cop abuse from these people. That's not fair. Dog whistle this, dog. I'm quoting the court. The court says, and let me quote the court, Mr. Chaudhary, 1 minute. Just to make this very clear.
Out here, let me just clarify before that the viewers are misguided out here.
Okay.
What constitutes a Waqf? Let my learned lawyer say to the
please tell the definition of Waqf given under Section 3R of the Waqf Act 1995. Come on, tell me, sir. And what is the definition of Waqf under the Delhi Boundary Law? Sir, I have read it with lot of sense of authority. I am saying.
No, you are not saying. You are just dog whistling the Waqf Act out here.
Understand.
You are suiting your
narrative. Let me tell you, I don't want to debate with you, sir. Please.
No, 1 second. Kamru Chaudhary, why are we even talking about the Waqf Act? You've caught the slim edge of the wedge. Let us talk about the real issue. Why is it? And I'm quoting now the court, the High Court. I'm not quoting anyone else. I'm quoting the High Court, and you tell me if the High Court is dog whistling against the Samajwadi Party government. You tell me and I'll quote it. The worship and rituals which continued to be performed in the cellar by the Vyas family till 1993 was stopped by illegal action of state. Illegal action of the state without there being any order in writing. Now, the state at that time, sir, constituted whom? It was the Samajwadi Party in 1993.
Rahul, you must be well aware of the fact.
So how am I
surrounding the
dog
Babri-
whistling against the Samajwadi Party?
Let me explain. Let me explain.
No, please,
And who
you're
was
being
the
in
protector?
contempt of the court. The court has singled out the Samajwadi Party administration.
Rahul, Rahul,
Who
if
was
I
at the
say
center?
this, you will say you are contempt of the entire country. Because
Who was
please
at the
listen,
center,
give me 10
Kamuji?
seconds to hear this out. Growing perception that majoritarian views are giving priorities in matters of mandir and masjids, and how public opinions are manipulated by searching for temples beneath the ocean and beneath every mosque in the country. This is called dog whistling against the Muslims and the minority places of worship in the country.
Have you heard
Rahul,
of a
you cannot
gentleman
be
called
more-
Mohan Bhagwat?
No.
Have you heard of a
Yes.
gentleman called
And
Mohan
what did he
Bhagwat
say?
of the
What
RSS?
did he say?
He's a
RSS
sarsang
says-
chalak of the RSS.
No,
You
no,
know what he
don't-
has said?
I
Should
don't
I
want
quote
to go
him?
into that
No,
debate.
should I quote him? Viewers, now tell me
I
something.
know.
RSS chief Mohan Bhagwat has said, now whether you agree with it or not is a different matter, viewers. He has come out and said that we should not go around looking for a temple under every mosque throughout the country. These are his views.
Then what wrong
And
did the
supposedly,
Mehrauli-
these are the views of a person that the Muslim side, that people like Kamru Chaudhary and his party, the Congress, call. And let me tell you this, viewers, call communalists. Reasonable view. I don't think you would agree, Dr. Ranganathan, with his view. You'd say, no, I want all my
Rahul-
temples back.
Rahul, I have a very
this same
simple observation
person,
to
gentleman that is
Kamuji.
sitting out here, Anandji, just give me 20 seconds, Anandji, I request
I
you.
did not interrupt
This
you,
is the
Kamuji,
same
please.
person,
I
Anandji, sitting
did
on
not
your panel.
interrupt
He
you.
says
Kamuji,
that he
please.
supports
Kamuji.
the demand for freeing 40,000 temples.
Yeah, he's a
Now you
Hindu.
tell me-
You know, he's a
Yes,
supporter
I-
of the
I
cause.
also have the same
No, no,
view.
that's what I'm
course.
saying. Now you are in contradiction of the what the RSS, your godfather.
But we
has
don't
said
all,
and
I mean,
what-
listen, I'm
what
sure he,
Anand-
do you
Anand
follow the
Raghunathan is
RSS,
saying.
Dr. Ranganathan? Are you an RSS bhakt? Since
No,
that
no,
is a
no.
fashionable word.
RSS,
Rahul-
the point
Rahul,
here,
on the
Rahul,
day-
is that Rahul,
Kamuji, this
tell
is
me
very
one
unfair
thing.
because you are a
What
good
wrong
friend.
what
I never
wrong did
interrupted you.
Mehrauli Mosque, a 700-year-old
I never
mosque,
interrupted
do?
you.
Okay,
What
okay,
is
one
the
second, sir.
encroachment
Don't,
of the-
Mehrauli ka mosque,
Now this
वहाँ
is-
temple भी तोड़े गए थे, sir. It was not
Very-
just a mosque. Even the temples
no.
were demolished
A
there.
700
Please, let's not be
archaeologically
selective
preserved
tonight.
site.
Let's be,
No,
okay,
you
one second.
cannot be
Kamru Chaudhary, we
cherry-picking.
can't speak
You
over
cannot
each
be
other. This is not fair.
cherry-picking.
Dr. Ranganathan has
1947
been
we
asked to
got
come in.
independence. Now the present-day Muslims have
Okay,
to
viewers, look at this.
thing for the
Even
for
now
the
it's not
for
too
500
late. Let me
years
tell
ago.
you, even now it's not too late for someone to magnanimously step forward and say, take it back.
Never. Rahul, that will never happen. I want to give you an example. Allama Iqbal, the creator, the metaphorical and otherwise creator of Pakistan, was a first generation Muslim. His grandfather or second generation, his grandfather was a Hindu. I don't know what generation Muslim my dear friend Kamruji is. But not an inch will be given. Please remember this. Every inch of sacred Hindu land has to be taken back legally, step by step. And that is why I said people like Vishnu Jain are the people who are icons of this country. They are fighting for
Okay.
our justice, our civilizational justice. And I want to ask this question. You have rightly put the blame on Samajwadi Party government. Let us say a government in the current climate, state government, passed an illegal order. Do you think the Congress would have let BJP away or not blame Modi being at the center for allowing it? Why
Arey,
should
Dr.
we not, why
Ranganathan,
should we not allow Congress?
4 years
Why
back,
cycle
4 years
fight
back,
where there
the
is
parliament,
law
the one
of
second,
not
just everyone silent please. 4 years ago, the parliament passed CAA and Article 370. My God, viewers, there were riots in this country. And Dr. Ranganathan is only talking about criticism. There were riots. And you talk about dog whistling. The daddies of dog whistling are today in court in Tihar. Viewers, not getting bail and running away from even taking bail. I mean, we are talking about dog whistling? I mean, you have some audacity. Anyhow, let me bring in SIMPLB, Rashid Sharif. Sharif भाई, आपसे एक सिंपल सवाल है. आज तो कोर्ट ने ये बताया कि 1993 में illegally the Hindus were deprived of their right to pray. Now tell me sir, इससे बड़ा और क्या हो सकता है बेनकाब? अब आप मुझे बताइए, क्या अब समय आ गया है कि हम ये जो ज्ञानवापी मस्जिद हैं जैन साहब के हवाले कर दें? अब तो
जी हाँ राहुल जी, आप जो बात बता रहे हैं उससे पूरा देश परेशान है। आज मुसलमान परेशान हैं। कोर्ट जो है, सुप्रीम कोर्ट है सो हाई कोर्ट की तरफ भेज देता है, हाई कोर्ट है तो स्टे नहीं लगाता है। ये 350 साल पहले की मस्जिद है, आप 1993 की बात कर रहे हैं। 1993 की बात कर रहे हैं। ये मसला कब का है? ये मस्जिद बनी कब है? आज है सो स्कूल्स, बच्चों के स्कूल्स चल रहे हैं, एग्जाम्स चल रहे हैं। आज हम उनके सामने ये रख रहे हैं कि हिंदू मुसलमान, ये रख रहे हैं कि मंदिर मस्जिद रख रहे हैं। ये मस्जिद मंदिर का खेल कब तक खेलते रहेंगे सर? कब तक खेलते? अरे बच्चों का फ्यूचर के बारे में बात करिए राहुल जी। बच्चों के एग्जाम्स है अभी। अगर है सो आपको हाई कोर्ट अगर परमिशन देता है सेलर में पूजा करो,
तो अब हमारे को ये बताना पड़ेगा हाई कोर्ट को कि जरा एग्जाम शेड्यूल देके जब अपना वर्डिक्ट दीजिए। क्या what is this? What kind of debate are we having? I think I just need to put an end to this debate. It's not going anywhere, viewers. You're hearing people speaking today out against the courts, accusing the courts of dog whistling. I mean, where are we going to go in this country from here, viewers? If what the court is saying is not going to be respected, if what the court is going to be, has ruled, is going to be now, motives are going, I think Vishnu Shankar Jain talked about this and he has sent me that little area where the court has said that motives were imputed. Can you believe, Vishnu Shankar Jain? The court has had to step in because the likes of Mr. Chaudhary and some of his friends in the Congress party came out, and even today they have, viewers, by the way. The Intizamiya has said some very nasty things about the court. Suggested that, the plaintiffs have influenced the judges. Can you believe it, viewers? It's shocking. And now we are being told कि भैया exam की बात करिए. I can't understand this, viewers. I just cannot understand it. Anyhow, let's move on. Let's move on because we have other issues. We have other issues. अच्छा ठीक है रशीद भाई, आप बहुत प्रिपेयर करके आए हैं, मगर कोई गलत डिबेट के लिए प्रिपेयर करके आए हैं। आप और पढ़ाई कीजिए और दूसरी डिबेट में आप शामिल हुइए, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, मगर ये वाली डिबेट में आपका बनता नहीं है, क्योंकि बेसिकली यू हैव कम एंड यू आर स्पीकिंग ऑन समथिंग कंप्लीटली डिफरेंट। I commend you for your preparation. Unfortunately, आपने डेट गलत देख लिया, टाइम गलत देख लिया, कहीं गलत चैनल पे, गलत जगह पे, गलत चीज पे बात कर रहे हैं. This is not the subject of the debate. We'll talk about all those issues with you when Mr. Sisodia is released from jail, so we can talk about the education model of Delhi. And you will have him and you can speak to him about it. Now let me move on, viewers, because this is very important.